Well, hi guys and gals, it's me, George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man. And we're going to get started on a new project. Well, it'll be new for you, but old for me. This is my 2002 GMC Sonoma Crew Cab with 4.3 liter V6 in it. And I have been throwing money at this for the last 6 months, and it still doesn't run. I bought a brand new battery because the other one wouldn't keep up. Bought a new ECM. I bought a new distributor, which I have not put in. I did replace the camshaft sensor, which is in the distributor, replace the cap and rotor, replace the crankshaft sensor unit, replace the coil, and I put a new filter, a fuel filter, and it all started by dying on me one day, and it wouldn't start, and I thought I had run out of gas. That is, that the fuel pump had died. And we started walking home, and I called my son-in-law, and when we got back to the truck, it started right up, and I drove it home, and I drove it for a couple of weeks, no problems. And then it progressively got worse. It would start, you could drive it for a couple of days, and it would die. You let it sit for a while, it'd start up and take off and go again. Then it got down to one day, and then a couple hours just down the street, and finally it got to the point where now it won't start at all. And I'm gonna do it, make it do what it does, just so you know the context for those of you who may want to follow along and possibly do what I'm going to do. Now, I got to tell you that this truck is not very high mileage. I had been looking at other trucks, plural, and thinking about possibly just buying another truck. But this truck here only has, can you see that down in there? Has only 118,000 miles on it. So that's relatively low mileage. And it had around 90,000 when I bought it, so I haven't put a lot of miles on it in the last few years. I'm going to try starting it. Whoa, you hear that? Kicking back against the starter. The problem is there's something going on in the ignition. The last time that I pulled the code off of it, and I have erased the codes now, but the last code that I got to read with my code reader was that there was a problem in the crankshaft sensor circuit. My new distributor is down there on the floor, brand spanking new, never been in a vehicle. So you heard how it kicks back. And I had talked to a couple of different garages. I talked to 3 different garages. One garage said no, they wouldn't work on it at all. The second one said just bring it and drop it off and we'll get to it when we get to it. It might be a couple of months, which let me know that they didn't have a clue and they really didn't want to work on it. And the third one said, yeah, bring it down and we'll try and fit it in. So it's like nobody really knows what the story is. And so here's the deal. This has electronic fuel injection. It's called throttle body injection. That's what that unit is right there. If I take that off, it almost looks like a carburetor. And the distributor is controlled by this ECM. That's a computer. And what I am going to do, and I have already ordered the parts for this, I'm going to take the electronic fuel injection off. TBI. Take that off, and I'm going to bolt an adapter on, and I'm going to put a 2-barrel carburetor on it. And then I'm going to pull, well, probably not in that order, I'm probably going to pull this off and then replace the distributor while this is off, so it'll give me more room to work down in there. I'm going to replace the distributor with an older school HEI electronic ignition distributor that has the coil and everything, the module right inside the distributor. And so we're going to bypass this here, going to do away with the fuel injection and have a carburetor with old school HEI electronic ignition distributor and get rid of the computer stuff altogether. And I have been doing my homework, and other people have done it, and they say that it worked quite well for them. So that's what I'm going to do. I know how to work on carburetors. I know how to work on the HEI distributors. And so we're going to get rid of this newfangled stuff and go back old school and see how we can fare from there. That means not only will we be getting rid of that part there, but all of this junk down here, and we'll have a regular air cleaner on top of the carburetor, just like an old school carburetor. So that's what my proposal is, and I'm going to bring you along step by step, and hopefully somebody else will get the benefit of my experience for better or for worse. So until next time, this is George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man. You hold on to your hats. All of my materials should be here right after the new year. So if I don't talk to you again, y'all have a wonderful new year. And oh yeah, the other thing I did when I had the battery out, I cleaned all of my grounds because several people had said, oh, it's a bad ground problem. Well, I cleaned all of my grounds, took the ground cable entirely off, which has 3 leads, including one to the engine, one to the frame, one to the firewall. There are other ground strips coming from other units that go down to the not the firewall, but the radiator support. Cleaned them all, greased them all, put them all back together, and as you heard, it didn't make any difference. So that's where we're headed. Thanks for watching, commenting, subscribing, thumbs up, sharing, all of them good things. Until next time, bye for now.